welcome to another edition of the Defender Roundtable. We're so excited to have you join the Defender team, and we're going to jump right in today because we're talking about what we've been talking about. Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America. You see, I got to hesitate because it burns my mouth as it comes out. But we have passed the 100-day mark of Trump's return to the White House. And if you're Black in America, you've likely been watching this administration's every move with a mix of frustration, exhaustion, and let's be real, just dread. So the question isn't just what has happened in these last 100 days, but who's been left to carry the brunt of it, and what do the next 100 days look like? So we're going to talk about that this morning, and let's jump right in the discussion with our wonderful Defender team. And that's why we'll jump in. I'm sure you have an opinion on what the next 100 days look like.
Yeah, man. So I'm sure we all know about the hundreds of thousands of federal workers that have been fired, and everyone's wondering, why is Trump breaking the government? All the people that do the stuff that we need government to do, they're fired, they're gone. But I think we forgot that one of the four parts of Project 2025 was for Trump to hire his cult members. Remember, he put out that call. He said, if you stand for Trump, if you want to stand with me to help the Constitution, send in your resume. They got tens of thousands of resumes, and folk are wondering, they don't have jobs for these people, but now they do because they fired hundreds of thousands of people. Why that's significant is because in his first term, there was a lot of things he was trying to do he couldn't do because civil servants are dedicated to their job and to the Constitution. They don't care who the president is. And so when he tried to do stuff, they pushed back. But now that he has fired hundreds of thousands and is going to replace them with his sycophantic, cultic folk, he's got carte blanche. So this does not bode well for the next 100 days.
All right. Terrence, weigh in.
I'm not looking forward to these next 100 days because I know it's going to be more chaos, more foolishness, and everything's going to work against Black and brown people that he does. His policies, it's clear what he's on a mission to do. And that's to really set us back, and and we have to figure out a way to prevent that. I mean, so we got to fight it. We can't just sit back and just be cool, okay with it. But at the same time, I mean, I can see how it can feel a little daunting because, like I said, the policies just don't make sense. And I mean, like you said, I mean, I've never seen a president. I mean, most presidents run on a platform of creating jobs, and this man has done the exact opposite. I mean, he's put so many people on the unemployment line. I mean, it's unreal, and so it's hard to even think about. Want to think about what's coming in the next 100 more days. I mean, but we know it's going to be more policies against Black and brown people. It's going to be more, more tariffs that don't make sense that the American people are going to have to pay for, higher inflation, the job unemployment market going higher and higher. So it's not anything to look forward to. I tell you that.
We're looking at one of Trump's big things, as many in the GOP, is the trickle-down economics. They feel like, we make the wealthy wealthier, and it will trickle down to everyone else. Trump supporters are quick to cite his commitment to opportunity zones because he says that's a way to bring investment into Black and brown communities. But some critics say the program primarily just benefits wealthy developers without strong safeguards to help in minority communities. Laura, weigh in on that. What do you think about his economics?
Well, I don't think anything of his economics. He doesn't have a platform to stand on. This 100 days sets the tone for the rest of his presidency. And so traditionally, the president's power is strongest in its first year, and he's testing the waters of whatever he feels like he can do. And he's clearly doing everything he's saying he's going to do. Even on the White House website, the White House said that he's doing what he needs to do as far as securing the borders, getting those dangerous criminals out of the way, lowering prices, which he's not doing that. I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but people are suffering at the stores, the tax cuts, the program freezing, education budgets for students who are willing to go to school, but they can no longer afford it. The economic turmoil as far as like tariffs, the global embarrassment on the biggest scale possible. Our allies don't even know whether they can trust the US or not. And we just sitting back and allowing this man to do whatever he wants to do. And it's at the expense of us. I can go out to the store and I'm looking at prices. Like, I just was talking to someone about, I went to the grocery store and bought like a pack of chicken, and it was like $10 for like 6 pieces. And I was in shock because I'm like, when did that happen? So it really, at the end of the day, it's impacting us, and it's not benefiting us at all. At all. There's no,
you know, a lot of people
plan.
don't see that.
No.
Well, the plan, first of all, we don't even really have a plan. You just said today it's a big, beautiful trade deal that is coming. But, you know, as we look ahead to the next 100 days, we know that there's a pretty clear blueprint of what's to come. And for the Black community, this isn't anything new. We've seen how administrations, both Democrat or Republican, can neglect or outright harm us. But what is new is we have the awareness. The problem is what are we doing about it? Aswad, what is the Democratic Party, the Black community, those Republicans that don't support Trump, what can they do going forward to prepare for the next 100 days that we know is going to be full of chaos?
The Democratic Party has to grow a pair, and they've got to get way more committed to wrecking stuff. I'm using stuff in quotes. And they gotta think like the Tea Party. The Tea Party, y'all remember, it didn't have power, but it raised enough hell until it got power. And you know, the Democrats, you know, they'll be in the state of America address or whatever it's called, State of the Nation, and they're holding up protest placards. Okay, but what are you going to do to put this issue on the minds of people every single day? They need to be beating the drum. I don't hear anybody screaming. I know maybe Sister Jasmine Crockett. I know Al Green was just before he got arrested, but I don't hear the Democratic Party screaming. What I do see though are more and more Black people opening up to the awareness that our only move forward is with each other, is self-reliance, and so I see different groups trying to figure that out. I'm encouraged by that. Churches, mosques, civic groups, community groups. I'm encouraged by that.
Parents?
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with the SWAT. I mean, you know, but I also think that the key to this is, I mean, there's a couple ways to go, and I think, you know, it's time to start putting pressure on our politicians that, you know, hey, if you're not going to work for us, we're going to vote you out. And so you know, it might be time. I mean, you know, there's always been this thing when it comes to congressmen and senators, Democrat or Republican, you know, you kind of, you know, they don't, if you're a Democrat, you run unopposed in your party. But we gotta end that. I mean, we need people who are gonna say, we're coming in to stand up to this guy. We're coming in to fight. So some of these Democrats who are just kind of sitting back and just, you know, making excuses, it may be time for them to go. I mean, and so I think that the midterm election is going to be huge for us, you know, in terms of trying to usurp some of this power from Donald Trump. I mean, and even knowing then, it's still going to be a fight because he seems bent on just doing things his way. But we do have a thing called a Constitution that, you know, that should protect us from some of these things. You know, you had a Supreme Court, I think, and while it's certainly swinging conservative, I think that, you know, we've seen them push back on some things that just don't make sense. So hopefully that'll continue, and we can, you know, ride these next couple of years out with this guy, get him out of here, and then, you know, try to restore this country. There's going to be a lot of work trying to get this thing back right. I mean, in 100 days, he's done so much damn damage. I mean, I can't even imagine what the next 3 years are going to look like for us.
But do you think by the time it's time for us to head back to the polls that Black folks will have just checked out so bad?
They shouldn't. I mean, because it could get worse. I mean, you know, it's bad right now, but if we continue to do nothing, if we continue to go the status quo, I mean, I think it could get worse. And so you have to, I mean, instead of, laying back or being upset, you need to be emboldened. You need to be, you need to be fired up to try to make some changes. And I think, the first place is going to be at the polls.
All
I
right,
think the
Laura,
key is
any
the
last,
next
go ahead,
Oh,
Aswad.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I think the key is the next 100 days though, because in Project 2025, day 180 of Trump being in office, which is right around July 19th or 20th, that was their target date that they would have all of their markers accomplished. So they're trying to wreck the courts. Y'all saw them perp walk a judge. They're trying to wreck law firms so that they will not ever dare to sue Trump. They're trying to break universities. They're trying to break the media and information so that there is absolutely no resistance. And so their thing is, if we do all that by 180 days, this thing can just go on autopilot and the next midterm won't even matter. So I hear what you're saying, Terrence, but I think these next 80, 75 to 100 days are really, really critical of Black folk and all folk who care about democracy standing up and fighting.
Okay. Laura, any last words?
Yeah. As far as what the Democrats can do, first, I feel like they should stop ranting about Trump and his behavior, clearly, because I kind of feel like their whole platform is I'm angry at Trump and everything that he's doing. And then the Republicans are using that against them because they have no ammo. So they're kikiing and laughing. But it's true. That's all they do is complain about what the Republican Party do. And they're doing exactly what they're saying they're going to do. So I feel like they should consider, say, for example, doing town hall meetings in those red states that Republicans refuse to do town hall meetings because their constituents are now getting upset. Because I saw in recent weeks that there's some Republicans who have canceled town hall meetings in some of their districts because of their constituents angry and upset. So those Democrats should go to those red states, host those town hall meetings, and talk to those people who have lost jobs, who are struggling. They should also consider holding maybe like daily press briefings. I remember during September 11th, I mean, I was young, but during that time when, Rudy Giuliani, he was holding press conferences after September 11th, letting people know on a daily basis, very empathetic, very calm. Hey guys, this is what's going on. And he was consistently doing on a daily basis. And the same thing went for Andrew Cuomo during the earlier stages of COVID. People wanted to know what's going on. We want to hear from our people. And that's what, even though they might be the most unpopular politicians now, right? But at that time, they seemed trustworthy because they were doing exactly what their constituents are asking for, which is giving us answers and keeping us informed and doing it on a consistent basis. And then also, I hope that they can consider, or Democrats can consider, having like a mirrored cabinet, or like a shadow cabinet where, okay, we know that the Republicans and the Republican Party, Trump's administration is the most unqualified, just aggressively unqualified administration that I've ever seen in my life. So the Democrats should be like, okay, we have this person who is qualified in our Democratic Party. Anytime homeboy says something, you need to be out here debunking it every time. And that's what they need to be doing. They don't need to be attacking nobody. They need to just go up and say, hey, so-and-so in the Republican Party said this. Well, these are the facts. Every single time, keep correcting them like be annoying like mosquitoes, but be very tactful. And I feel like they need to be doing that instead of crying and complaining about Republicans all the time, because Republicans are going to do what they want to do. But that's the strategy I feel that they should be considering now.
All right. I hope that someone that is watching this can hear that and take that back to Hakeem Jeffries, because a shadow cabinet is an excellent, excellent idea.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And we are out of time. We hope you enjoyed this discussion. You can check out the article on defendernetwork.com. And then we need to get Aswad busy on writing that 180-day article of Project 2025. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and support Defender journalism with a donation or sign up for the Defender newsletter on our website. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.